Hi, my name is Keatyn Good, and welcome back to episode 2 of Keatyn Talks Sports. Still joined by my wonderful co-host Rose. And first of all, I would just like to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see that this is a little bit of a shorter episode. And why that is because I'm going to be doing short episodes on YouTube, easier to digest, easier to watch, rather than the full hour or however long that I ramble for. If you are interested in that, I will have that on my Spotify podcast, Keatyn Talks Sports. The full-length podcast will be uploaded first before I'm able to edit and upload the videos on YouTube. So just an FYI to look out for that. Again, on Spotify, Keatyn Talks Sports. I will also have the link on my YouTube, and I will also have the link in my Instagram bio for the updated episode. Please follow me on there if you want the full-length version. But now on YouTube, it'll just be shorter, easier to digest content rather than having to watch the full hour. Again, I will ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with anybody and everybody that you know. Your mom, your brother, your family, your grandparents, anybody. Share them and let them know that this is their number one home for ball knowledge. I also realized that in the last episode, I just didn't give a background to the show at all. I'll let you guys know that I am in nursing school right now currently. So I don't have a confirmed consistent date for every episode that'll be released. Right now I'm recording this on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'll be doing all the editing and everything like that. I'll try to get that pumped out as soon as I possibly can. And as far as the content that will be covered, if you notice, it's Keatyn Talks Sports, not Keatyn Talks Football. Right now during the NFL playoffs, it's going to be a mainly football-dominated show. But once March Madness comes around, we will be talking NCAA basketball, NBA Finals, the NBA playoffs. We will be talking about everything. The World Cup this summer will be talked about. UFC events, everything. This is Keatyn Talks Sports. And it will be all sports, all sporting desires, ball knowledge in every single sport. This is the face that you need to see, and this is the place that you need to come. Pause. Kind of weird. But that being said, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Episode 1 did so much better than I could have ever expected or imagined. As of recording right now, we're over 100 views. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I appreciate it. I love all the love, all the support, all the feedback I've gotten. You guys are amazing. This is the start of something special. We're just going to keep growing, keep building, and I'll just keep improving. The snowball's starting to roll. Hey, the bandwagon, get on the bandwagon now, hop on the train now, because it's going to start moving. It's going to start chugging along. Starting today's episode, which you'll see in the YouTube title, this will be my predictions for head coaching vacancies, and I wanted to start with that today because breaking news out of Buffalo, Sean McDermott, you're out of here. You're fired. In my best Vince McMahon voice. That's crazy news. That is crazy news. Wow. Sean McDermott. But you feel like, though, it's been a long time coming, if I'm being honest. You know, what was it going to take for Buffalo to get over that hump, get over the edge? They've gotten rid of so many offensive coordinators. And you can't get rid of Josh Allen, fucking obviously. So the next step, I believe, and this might sound crazy, I think this is the right move to fire Sean McDermott. The coaching has just not been there. The defense for them has not been there when they need it the most. Again, they go to overtime, and Josh Allen still has 0 wins in overtime. But the common denominator there is the Bills. Sean McDermott. And now he is out of there. Crazy stuff. And again, successful hate watch. Successful hate watch because the Bills lose. Josh Allen can't get a ring. And Bo Nix breaks his fucking ankle. And now the Broncos can't get a ring. Now, if you notice, I do have 2 jerseys up besides me. This one's Travis Kelce, 87. If you can name this one, 91 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll give you OTPHJ. Those who know, they know. But no, back to the news. Sean McDermott gone. But that might open, whoever they hire and where Sean McDermott goes, you'll just have to wait. And now, I will say, let me pat myself on the back real quick. 1 for 1 in predictions. John Harbaugh puts pen to paper and signs with the New York Giants. To me, and I'll be honest, I didn't do any research on that. To me, that was just putting myself in John Harbaugh's shoes and thinking, where would I want to go coach if I was Harbaugh? Where would I want to go coach? And the answer was always going to be the New York Football Giants. And I love what Harbaugh did. Basically told Joe Schoen to go fuck himself.
Hey, Rock! Go f*** yourself!
I think that's alright. I think it's the right move. Initially, I'm pretty sure he wanted Joe Schoen to step down and bring in his own GM. And the Giants weren't really willing to do that. So, next best option, Harbaugh says, if I have a problem, I'm not reporting to this dude. I'm going straight to the owner. And if I'm the owner, Jim Mora, hey, whatever we got to do to get you to sign Harbaugh, we're doing. Harbaugh signs, which is huge. Huge for the Giants. Once we get through the offseason, we'll see what happens with them and potentially winning the NFC East. I don't know if it'll happen year 1, but we might see a new number 2, or maybe even a new number 1 over Philly, which I would love personally as a Chiefs fan. What else? Another prediction I am technically going to get right. I'm going to give myself this one. Mike Tomlin will not be coaching next year. But what I didn't know, because I recorded my episode like right after he stepped down, is that the Steelers actually keep Mike Tomlin's rights. So I didn't think I didn't know that was the situation. And I think that's because he stepped down rather than being fired. But they keep Mike Tomlin's rights. So if a team, what that means is if a team wanted to hire Mike Tomlin and Mike Tomlin agreed, they would have to give trade compensation to the Steelers. That would be worthy, according to Pittsburgh. And I don't think Pittsburgh would really allow Tomlin to go many places, especially right after he steps down. And that being said, too, it's the same situation that hired with Sean Payton going to Denver. I can't remember exactly how many first-round picks it was, but I think it was 2, potentially 3 first-round picks that Denver sent to New Orleans, and that's how they got Sean Payton. And that's the same thing with Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin right now, and he will not be coaching this year, as I predicted. But even if the Steelers didn't have his rights, I just did not see Mike Tomlin. He's just not a guy that I would see jumping straight into another head coaching job, jumping into the arms of another GM. I didn't see that happening at all. The last piece of breaking news when it comes to head coaches that I wasn't able to cover last episode is Kevin Stefanski went to the Falcons. I'll be honest, I hate that move for Atlanta. I hate it. I don't like Kevin Stefanski at all. I don't think he is a good offensive play caller. And maybe it's unfair. He has won Coach of the Year a couple of times. Maybe it's unfair because he's been in Cleveland. Their offenses haven't been great. Their quarterback situation hasn't been great. But when you're coming to Atlanta, their head coach, or I guess their quarterback position also isn't great right now. Stefanski coached offense, like a Stefanski play call coached offense, has not performed in years. It's been years since Stefanski's been able to call competent plays, it seems. So I don't like that move at all. I do like them bringing an offensive mind in, but I think they jumped the gun. I know Stefanski was a little bit of a hot prospect, if you want to call that. A very wanted head coach for a few teams, but I do think Atlanta jumped the gun. If I'm Atlanta, I would have rather had Kubiak if that was an option. I might have even rather had Matt Nagy. But even a guy like Nate Shielhassy, Mike McDaniel, Cliff Kingsbury are all, if you want to bring an offensive guy to make the most out of this offense, Stefanski was not the guy. And they could prove me wrong. It's a cupcake division. But New Orleans looks like they got their guy in Tyler Shuck and obviously Kellen Moore. And that's, again, New Orleans kind of followed that blueprint of bringing in a young, smart, genius, you could even call, play-calling mind in Kellen Moore. And it's working. It's working, especially towards the second half of the year. New Orleans looked really good. I really don't like that hiring by Atlanta, especially because when you have the explosive playmakers like Bijan Robinson, Drake London, they have a good receiver core. I just don't know. I just don't think Stefanski's really going to be able to maximize or get the most or fulfill that offense's full potential, which sucks. Now, we are going to get into my head coaching predictions. We're going to start today with the Steelers head coaching opening. And I said it last week. It's looking even better now. Brian Flores. And what I did not know, and I apologize for not doing the ample research, Brian Flores was with the Steelers in 2022. He has a history there. He is very well known by that Pittsburgh front office. They like Brian Flores a lot. It fits what they are trying to go for there. You know, you go from defensive-minded black guy right to another defensive-minded black guy. No, all jokes aside, I just think that Brian Flores fits the culture there in Pittsburgh very well. Like I said, he was with that staff in 2022. But, and there's always a but, what if Pittsburgh pivots off of Brian Flores now that Sean McDermott got fired? And we could see Sean McDermott just sneak in there, tiptoe his way in there, and get the Steelers head coaching job after being fired from Buffalo. That would be very interesting. It'd be a very, very, very quick turnaround as well. But I could see it. And this is the reason why, if you're Atlanta or something like that, why you wait. Like with the Giants, yeah, Harbaugh is going to be the best candidate this offseason, bar none. This is why you wait, though. I can't get over that for Atlanta. I can't get over that. I like that Atlanta team. Can't get over that. But we're talking about the Steelers. You would think I had a damn Falcons flag up for how much I talk about them. But Brian Flores, that's my official prediction. But with these, I might throw in a second option, like a backup that I have like in the back of my mind. And that one for this one is Sean McDermott. Who's next? The Cleveland Browns. What a disaster. It's not a disaster, but what a disaster of a franchise. They always are. What are you going to do if you're the Browns? I think the most Browns thing they could do, and I don't think it'd be an awful hire, but the most Browns thing they could do, and what I do think they will do, is promote defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz to the head coaching position. I just think it's written in the stars. Schwartz was with the Browns all the way back in the 90s. He's been a head coach before, albeit not a very successful one at all. It just seems, since he joined back with Cleveland in 2023, that their defense obviously has been phenomenal. That's what Cleveland likes. That's kind of the theme of the AFC North, minus the Bengals. Ugh. But the Browns, I see them just promoting Jim Schwartz. Just seems like a very Browns thing to do. It's not like he'd be an awful head coach, but I don't think he'd be the guy to take them to the next level. I could always be wrong. But this is one where I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be wrong on this one as far as them going to the next level. I could be wrong on who they hire, but I see them promoting Jim Schwartz. That's just the Browns. What are you going to do? It's the goddamn Browns. The Buffalo Bills head coach is now a new opening. Who do I predict that they hire? This one might come out of left field. You guys might not see this one, or maybe you do. Brian Daboll. Now, doing a little bit of research, he was the Bills' offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021. He was huge in the beginning of Josh Allen's career, and I think that they could just bring him back. I think it's going to be for Buffalo. I think that they are going to go all in on offense when it comes to the coaches and the coordinators and everything in between. I think Daboll is not the best offensive mind, but a theme that I'm seeing through these head coaching openings and that we've seen quite a bit in the past is if there's somebody who's available who will be good enough or good, and that the front office or somebody has ties to, they do quite often like to go back to that. Whether that's for the better, for the worse, anything. So we will see, I predict Brian Daboll to the Buffalo Bills as their new head coach. The Baltimore Ravens. This is, in my opinion, the most enticing head coach opening left. Buffalo, I would say, is a close number 2, but Baltimore, I think the defense has more playmakers. The offense, obviously Lamar and Derrick Henry. The Bills, though, obviously Josh Allen, James Cook. But you need receivers both places. I think the Ravens' defense is better, whatever. The Ravens' next head coach, according to Keatyn Talk Sports, will be Clint Kubiak. I think he is going to get his chance, a well-deserved and well-earned chance. I think it will be for Baltimore. Baltimore, I think, is going to look to somebody somewhat younger, obviously on the offensive side of the ball. Someone who could be an innovative play caller that Clint Kubiak has proven to be. And if Kubiak gets a guy like Lamar Jackson to coach, I mean, it's going to be crazy. I think he could do some very good things with that team. And that is just, to me, it just seems like it's written in the stars there. I don't know. I like that hiring a lot as far as offensive minds available left are concerned. I think Kubiak is a guy that if you're Baltimore, give him a chance. Let him see what he can do with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry in this run game. And he's made the most out of his time in Seattle. I like Clint Kubiak for the Baltimore Ravens head coaching position. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals. And I believe they will hire Chris Shula. And we'll see how many of these I get right. It's very tough because teams who want offensive head coaches, or I guess previous coordinators, they seem to be pretty written in the stars. But the ones who want defensive coordinators or defensive head coaches, this is where it gets tough because you see names like Shula, Jeff Hafley, all these guys are having interviews with, they're getting passed around. They're having interviews with every single head coaching opening. Brian Flores is another one. Jim Schwartz. Like, these guys are getting head coaching interviews everywhere. So it's somewhat difficult to predict. Why I think Shula goes to the Cardinals is I believe that the Cardinals are going to, for a lack of better word choice, I think the Cardinals are going to get the short end of the stick. It's not an enticing head coaching opening. I don't believe Hafley will go there. I think Hafley will take a different job, which I will touch on later. And I just think the Cardinals are going to get the short end of the stick. I don't really know. They have some good young playmakers on defense, which is why I think they'll bring in another defensive head coach. The offense, though, man, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray could have been so great. Now instead you're just playing Call of Duty. I don't know, man. I don't know. But Cardinals, I predict Chris Shula. Going from the Cardinals, we'll go to the AFC now. And the Tennessee Titans. Who will be the Tennessee Titans' next head coach? The question that everybody has been wondering. Every single person. You walk down the street, you bump into somebody, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just thinking about who's going to be the next Titans head coach. Who's going to be the next Titans head coach?" No, in reality, nobody really cares that much because it's the Titans. Sort of like the Browns. Most people probably don't even know that the Browns need a head coach, or the Titans. Most people probably couldn't name the last Titans head coach. And that will continue because they are going to hire my best friend, Matt Nagy. I know. Cue the explosions. Cue the confetti. As a Chiefs fan, best day ever. Cue SpongeBob. It's the best day ever. Why I think the Titans will hire, I'll be more serious now. If there are any Titans fans, I don't think you exist. But why I do think the Titans will hire Matt Nagy, and why I don't think it'll be that bad of a hire if they do. Their GM actually came from Kansas City, and he said, "Hey, I'm not letting my Chiefs bias. I'm not letting it interfere with my work here," which we all know he's going to. Matt Nagy, I don't think it'll be that bad because I think Cam Ward would fit an RPO and quick read type of offense. They have a very young receiving core. Ao Manor and DK, I think, are good young wide receivers that can do good things for them. I really think Nagy going to Tennessee, at the end of the day, it's sort of like Cleveland where it's still going to be the Titans. It's still going to be the Titans. I don't think Jesus Christ himself could save that franchise. They are just doomed, which also what's crazy about that, they had Vrabel, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Tannehill. They were in the playoffs consistently, and they just threw it all away. They got rid of everything, threw it all away, and are back to being absolutely poverty. But they will hire Matt Nagy. And speaking of poverty, the Raiders, that's another head coaching position where most people probably don't even know that they need a head coach. Oh, there's my co-host Rose. Oh, how cute. I love her. The Raiders, dude, none of these head coaching openings or available head coaches even want to go to the Raiders. The Raiders, I think that they will hire Denver's passing game coordinator, Davis Webb. Why do I think that? Because nobody wants to go to the Raiders. Davis Webb, though, has done good with Bo Nix and the Denver passing offense. That would be kind of crazy going from Denver to division rival head coach, but you got to take an opportunity when it arises. Otherwise, if it's not Davis Webb, this is another one where I'll throw in a second. Nate Shielhasi, if I'm saying that name right. I'm pretty sure I am. From the Rams. The Raiders, what else can you say? It doesn't matter who's on that team, who's on that coaching staff. They will always be the Raiders. Moving on to our final head coaching opening, the Dolphins head coach, Jeff Hafley. He will be the next Dolphins head coach. The current Packers defensive coordinator. I think the Dolphins, after Mike McDaniel, are like, fuck an offensive head coach. We don't want that. We don't need that. And I believe they will be the ones to hire Jeff Hafley. If I'm Hafley, as far as, Hafley's the one, I would say he's the hardest to predict. I could see him going to Pittsburgh. I could see him going to Cleveland. I could see him going to Arizona. I could see him going to the Titans. I could see him going to the Dolphins. Hafley is the one. He is, as far as defensive-minded coaches go, he is the most desired right now. I don't know how much I understand that, but give the guy a chance. I think he will go to Miami, and I think he could do good things with their defense, but their defense needs a lot of work. Miami needs a lot of work in general. And so you might be thinking, where's Raheem Morris? Where's Mike McDaniel? Where's Cliff Kingsbury? Where are these guys going to go? Mike McCarthy. McCarthy is the other name I would have for the Titans, potentially, if he doesn't take the Titans job. Maybe the Cardinals. I don't think so. I don't know about McCarthy, if I'm being honest. I don't know if he takes a head coaching job this season either, which you never know. That might lead him to go to college or maybe not take another head coaching job. But as far as Kingsbury, McDaniel, and Raheem Morris are concerned, I think that they will all take coordinator positions. Kingsbury, I hope, ends up right here in Kansas City. If I had my wish, that is who we would hire. Or Eric Bieniemy, of course, but Andy Reid doesn't really hire outside of his circle. So I doubt we get Kingsbury, which will suck. But Raheem Morris and Mike McDaniel, I could see McDaniel taking either the Chargers offensive coordinator position, the Eagles, something like that. I don't see him taking a Browns head coaching job. If the Ravens offered him, he could take that. Or the Bills, he could take the Bills. But if they don't hire McDaniel, if like those two head coaching openings don't hire McDaniel, I see McDaniel taking an offensive coordinator position. Because there are some really good offensive coordinator positions available. I won't be able to cover all of that today because we're already approaching 30 minutes. I do want to keep these YouTube videos a bit shorter. What do you think? Interesting opinion there. But that being said, that will wrap up the head coaching predictions by Keatyn Talks Sports. We will revisit these when head coaches get hired. I will obviously talk about it, touch on them in the video. But I will revisit these once all of the head coaching positions are filled. We'll see how many I got right, how many I got wrong, and that'll do it. Thank you for watching another Keatyn Talk Sports production. And hey, once I go 8 for 8, 9 for 9, 10 for 10, whatever it is, you got to subscribe, like, comment, share, everything down below. Thank you again for watching. I love and appreciate you so much. And that will do it. Thank you.